Hi everyone. So in this video we are going to create our first flow designer action, which is actually going to send the first request in order to get the coin detail. Okay, that's what we are going to do. We are here right at this level of the workflow. Okay, let me just show you one more time the data integration and data flow. Okay, in order to create the REST request, it's quite easy and fast. All we need to do is to provide all this information. Okay, the main part here is the script we are going to use in order to parse our response body. Okay, so we are going to mainly focus on that one first. Once we have understand the logic behind, we are going to create everything, okay, all together. So let me show you first the endpoint that we are using in order to send the REST request. Okay, so this is the endpoint which is actually going to give us the coin detail for Bitcoin, for example. So the number one is the coin ID for Bitcoin. Okay, so if I click on this link, it's going to basically give me the JSON string that we get for that request. Okay, this is the string that we get. So let me put that in an online application here. So the entire script you see here, you have it here. Okay, and you can see it's much more clear. So if you want to access, for example, the value 1 for which is the ID, you can do data.coin.id. you can get that. That's basically the syntax that we will be using in the script in order to get that specific value. So you can do data.coin.uuid, you will get this one. Data.slug, we will get this one. Okay, once we parse our response. Okay, so let's go back, view a little bit the script that we are going to have. Okay, so this is the response that we get, the JSON string. The first thing what we do, we have to check if we have a successful response or not. Okay, so for that we will have two variables to be created in one variable we will be creating two variables. The first one is the status code, the other one is the response body. Okay, the status code will have the status code of when you get the response. Okay, when you send the request, it is going to basically send a code, and this variable will contain that code. If it is equal to 200, we have a successful response. Okay, so then we can execute everything that we have inside this curly brackets. Okay, the first thing what we do here is we create a response body variable and we parse our response. Okay, we access our response body like this in inputs.response_body, and then we parse it. So this variable this is a JavaScript object, will contain the response, which is the parsed response. So we can now access the value that we have, for example ID, UUID, slug, and so on. So what we do now is we create an object which is coin object, and then we can do like this: coin object dot id equal to response body, this variable, dot data dot coin dot id. Okay, so you can get the ID and store it in this variable, and then you can do the same for everything that you need. So I'm going to get the ID, slug, symbol, name, and the other one. Okay, so once we have done with that, you can create an output variable. This one is for the action step. Okay, so in the action step, I want to have a variable which will contain this object. Okay, this one is created later. You can use that object outputs in your flow, in your action. Okay, so this is the entire script. It's quite simple, it is not complicated. So let's create now our application, our flow designer action, also the REST request, and then put our script and see the result. So let's start to create our application now. So look for Studio and then click on create application, give it a name for your application. So it's going to be crypto analysis and a description. So I'm going to put cryptocurrency analytics. Click on create and advanced in Studio Advanced. Okay, select your application. Now we are going to create our action in Flow Designer. So look for action here, click on create. So let's give it a name for our action. It's going to be get coin history and details. That's what we want, and click on submit. Okay, now so let's create our input variable. So it's going to be we are going to have the coin ID as an input variable. Then we create our first REST request. Okay, click on the plus button and then click on REST. Give it a title, so I'm going to put, for example, get coin details. Select here define connection inline, and then we are going to specify here the base URL, which I have it here. Okay, this is our base URL, and the resource path. Okay, and then drag and drop the coin ID data field here. Click on enable retry policy and select the retry policy. Right, save that one. Now click on plus, and then we are going to write our script to parse our response body. So let's give it a title here. So it's going to be parse response body get coin detail. Sorry. So let's create our variables now, which we are going to use in our script. So the first one is going to be status code, and drag and drop the data field. The second one is going to be response body, and drag and drop as well the other data field. Okay, so remove that everything inside that you have in the code, and then we are going to insert now the code that we saw in the previously. So I'm gonna just take this code, copy that one, and put it in here. Okay, so let's now create our coin object output variable for the action step, for the parse action step. So I'm going to give the name that I have here in my script, coin object. Okay, this is going to be the type is going to be an object here, so I'm going to select here object, and then I'm going to create all the childs. Okay, so the first one is going to be ID, and then I'm going to have symbol, slug, name, UUID, so everything that we have in our script. Okay, so now actually we can save the entire output variables, this one as a template. So if you click on the kind of symbol there, and you can select here save as templates. Okay, create structure manually, and then you can click on save as template, give it a name, coin details for example, and then click on save, and we can use this template again. So now we are creating our output variable for the entire action. So it's the same coin object, so we have it here. Now instead of recreating everything, I'm gonna just select the template that I have just created. So Kryptonas is coin details. Great, so I have it here. Save everything, and then drag and drop the data field that we have in the previous step. Okay, the coin object data field. That's it. Now let's test and see if we get a result or not. Okay, this is for Bitcoin. That's a coin ID here, number one. So as you can see here, we have some results. So we have ID, symbol, UUID, the name, everything. And then we can also see if you have a successful response. You can see here we have 200. We can also test for other coins. So I'm going to test, for example, for the number 23. And you can see here we have the result. Thanks for watching.